Hey guys, good afternoon. Steve with Super Dungeon Explorers Guild here again. We're going to be talking about the commands that the different monsters can do in Super Dungeon Explorer Arcade version. So, you watch the other videos in the series, we broke down the hero cards, the spawn point and gang cards. We're going to be looking at this Mighty Monster chart. So this chart is kind of what dictates the monsters' movements, how they attack, how they interact with the heroes when you're playing Super Dungeon Explorer Arcade version of the game. So first thing off the bat, there are two sets of these. We have ones for 3 to 4 players and 5 to 6. Again, these rules, all these components are listed on the Ninja Division webpage. I'll toss a link in the bottom so you can download the rulebook. You can download the print and play version of this. They also have the tiles and the loot tracker available. Really kind of everything you need if you want to print and play this version of the game. So let's take a moment. We're just going to look at the first turn there, right? So first turn for the monsters is going to be a move and fight command. So let's kind of go through and sort of determine, how that works, and let's see how movement behaves. We're going to clear the board a little bit. Bear with me. Out of the way, Glimmerwing. All right, let's play around with Princess Emerald here. Princess Emerald will be the hero we're targeting, and let's say we've got these two little guys on the board, and we'll toss Glimmerwing over here. So let's go through the different commands that you might come across there. So we've got challenge, epic fight, regular fight, move, plot, regroup, reinforce, spawn, and unique. So those are all the different commands. Let's go through just the move and fight. Those are fairly simple and straightforward. So move. The elite and solo monsters are going to move up to their movement stat towards the hero with the most wrath. As it's only Princess Emerald, she's going to have the most wrath. So they're going to stop when they're in range to attack. So when you're doing this, you're going to want to have ready access to the cards with the relevant abilities. So let's start off with Glimmerwing. Glimmerwing has a speed of 8 and a range of 6. So Glimmerwing is pretty quick and has some good long range. So Glimmerwing's going to move 2, 3 squares. We'll go 4 squares. Glimmerwing's going to end up here. Well, you know what? Let's just do Glimmerwing for now. So Glimmerwing has moved. Glimmerwing has line of sight now and is going to be making its basic attack. If you remember from the card video, there are a number of actions that you get to do. So Glimmerwing has 2 action points, so we're going to make 2 attacks at strength 4. Now, we're going to compare that to the armor of Princess Emerald. Now, Princess Emerald doesn't have any gear at the moment, so this definitely could sting a bit. But let's see. Princess Emerald has 3 blue dice. We're going to give them a go. Oh my, she whiffed that one. So Princess Emerald would take a point of damage. And if you have your card, depending on how you're choosing to track the damage, we'll toss a heart on Princess Emerald to represent that she took a damage. Now, Glimmerwing has another action point available. He's going to take his next shot. Oh, okay. Well, Princess Emerald made up for it that time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So she has blocked that attack. So that's kind of the basic move and fight action. Hopefully you can see, and this tile may not be the best to demonstrate it with the color picking up, but let me see if I can rectify that for you. There are a number of little squares on the tile. Heroes and monsters are going to be occupying these squares on the game board. And let's see, we're going to sneak this one in here. Alright, so when models move, they can move in any direction. They can go forward, backward, diagonal, what have you. So each point of movement gets you 1 square. So you can kind of move them diagonal. Princess Emerald, we're going to be moving her maybe. She's got a move of 6, so she's going to go, let's say she wants to go over here, check out this room. Boom, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And maybe there's a monster in there she wants to fight. So she would check her range and shoot the monster, or maybe there's a treasure chest she wants to get. But that's kind of the basics of movement. Now, large monsters, we'll talk about large monsters real quick. When they're moving, they can squeeze. So if for example, there was a little something there that kind of blocking the movement, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're moving as though it was a occupying a single square as opposed to, you know, all 4 it does right now. But when we place the model at the end, we want to be sure that there is enough room, enough squares available to place the large base model. When you're measuring range, same idea, it's going to be the number of squares. So let's say Princess Emerald is here, and she wants to fire a shot at that little dragon dude. She's going to count the number of squares of her range. Let's see. So she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares away from this guy. If you were to look at her ability card, her dex has a range of 8. Let's see if we can get that to focus and like us. If not, you'll take my word for it. She's got a range of 8. She's got 2 blue dice and a red. So we go to our dice pile, we grab the relevant dice, we make a roll, and we would compare the number of stars to the armor of the creature. If she succeeds, she's going to do a point of damage and potentially take it out. So that's the basics of kind of the move and fight. Moving a number of squares, fighting, you're going to be using your action points, you're going to be making basic attacks. Let's take a look at some of the other commands. So we talked about fight. An easy one to move from after fight would be epic fight. So with epic fight, when a model is given the epic fight command, any hero that suffers a wound due to an offensive action taken by a monster suffers 1 additional wound. So that can add up pretty quickly, and epic fight turns are rightly feared when that does come up. Let's see. Let's do regroup. So regroup is an interesting command. It's very similar to that move command, except that instead of going after another hero, the monsters are taking an opportunity to, as the name suggests, regroup themselves. They're going to move towards a dungeon exit. So the monsters are going to move exactly as if they'd received a move command, with the following kind of exceptions. So each monster's target is the closest square that is adjacent to a dungeon exit. So we'll do a little demonstration. Let's say we got these guys here. And they're hanging out over by the spawn point. They get a regroup command. They're going to make their way over towards the squares adjacent to that dungeon exit. Now, instead of stopping when the monster is in attack range of the target square, it will stop movement when it is as close to occupying the square as able. So it's going to get right on up there if it has the movement points to do so, and if not, it's going to get as close as it can. So if the regroup command is given, all monsters in play receive +1 static armor until the end of the next hero turn. Now, this bonus is generated and awarded regardless of whether the monsters were able to move due to the regroup command. Let's see. Now, a point to remember is that doorways are breaks in walls that surround the tile, and dungeon exits are doorways that do not connect to another tile. This means that during the regroup command, monsters will be moving towards a doorway that doesn't connect to another tile. What that means essentially is you're going to be moving towards the edges that don't have another tile on them. So you're not going to move towards ones that are connected. So let's see, let's look at challenge. So the challenge phase, this is kind of fun because there's going to be some extra cards drawn to represent some of the different dangers, traps, pitfalls, whatnot that the heroes are going to face in the dungeon. When a challenge card is drawn, you're going to flip the top card of the challenge deck face up. Now, all challenge cards have an effect on the game as soon as they're drawn, and for as long as they remain in play. A challenge card drawn at the end of a console turn will generally affect the subsequent hero turn, and then be discarded at the end of the following console turn. So if you're drawing it at the end of, say, 3, on the end of the turn 3 console turn, it's going to impact turn 4 for the heroes, and then be discarded at the end of turn 4 console turn. Challenge cards are discarded after a new challenge card is drawn, or at the end of the next turn, whichever comes first. Some challenge cards are going to have trap effects listed. Those are interesting. When a challenge card is drawn, you're going to immediately resolve those effects if applicable. Now, plot cards. So these represent some of the, we'll say, devious schemes that have been hatched by the console when the heroes must now work together to overcome as they move on towards fighting that dungeon boss. When the plot card is drawn, flip the top card in the plot deck face up, and it will remain in play, and its effects will last for the duration of the game until the heroes are able to resolve whatever criteria is listed in order to discard it. Pardon. All plot cards list a way to discard them. Once they're discarded, they have no more effect on the game, and heroes get the opportunity to roll a fun green die when the plot card is discarded. If the hero rolls a heart and potion on the green die, that hero is going to get to draw from the treasure deck. So each hero is going to get to roll a green die. You're playing with 3 people. Everybody's going to take a roll and possibly draw extra treasure. So after the first time a spawn point is destroyed during the game, the heroes must immediately draw a plot card if they have not already drawn one due to the Mighty Monster chart. If the heroes draw a plot card in this manner, then they ignore the one listed on the Mighty Monster chart. So you're only going to draw a plot card either by destroying the first spawn point or from getting to it on the chart, kind of whatever comes first. So that's another fun one there. Let's see, reinforce, spawn, and unique. Let's talk about spawning next. So with the spawn action, there's going to be one spawning point that is closest to the hero with the most wrath. Is going to immediately spawn all monsters listed on its spawning card that are available in the spawning pool. Now, if none of the gang's elites are available to spawn, no monsters in the gang may spawn. A spawning point may not spawn more monsters than lists on its card. Let's see. So players are going to get all the elite monsters that will be spawning and place them within 3 squares and line of sight to the spawn point. So if the spawn point's in the center, you got 3 squares in your directions, and you want to make sure you have line of sight. So be kind of aware of structures, walls, other features that are going to block line of sight. So then you're going to place, after the elites have been placed, as close to the hero with the most wrath as possible, then you're going to place all minions in such a way that they're within 2 squares of an elite in their gang, which spawn them. Note that this can take them farther than that 3 square from the spawn point. So monsters, both minions and elites, may not be placed adjacent to another monster unless you run out of room, unless there's no other viable place to put them down. Let's see, any monsters listed on the spawn point that are already on the dungeon map may remove all wound and status effect tokens, regardless of the specific spawning point from which they were spawned. So that's kind of nice. That's a way to that the board that the monsters are going to regen health if the heroes haven't been able to clear the monsters down. Now reinforce is a little similar. With the reinforce action, it's gonna start with the elite monster closest to the hero with the most wrath. So all monsters listed in that gang that are available to spawn are going to spawn within 2 squares of that elite monster. So a single gang may not spawn more monsters in this way than are listed on the gang spawn point, and it comes with the same usual caveat rules-wise. They can't be placed adjacent to another monster unless there's no other spot. You would continue reinforcing each elite until all elites have been reinforced or until there's no other monsters available. Now, if there are no spawn points in play that list an elite's gang, the gang may still reinforce as normal. So that's taken us through challenge, epic fight, move, plot, regroup, reinforce, spawn. Now we're going to talk about unique. So So with unique actions, or with the unique command I should say, the monsters are going to activate all unique actions on their cards in the order that they're listed. Let me see if I can pull one out and kind of show you. We'll pop this card in, get you an idea. There you go. It's got some unique actions. They're going to be done in the order that they're listed. Only solo elite monsters and elites are actually going to be performing the actions. You're going to target the hero with the most wrath, that is both in range and line of sight. Now, just like hero actions, these can be both offensive or support in nature. So offensive unique actions use the monster's strength attribute, and this can be modified through in-game bonuses such as the Mighty Monster progression or by other means. Any affected hero must make a defense roll using their attribute that has the shield on it. So for a lot of heroes that'll be armor, but there are some that do defend on their dex or will, so you'll have to pay attention to your hero card in that. If the defense roll is less than the strength, the hero is going to suffer a wound, and whatever effects are also listed on that unique action. Now, support unique actions, just like for heroes, they don't inflict wounds. Instead, they cause a number of effects that could be, let's see, status effects on the enemies, or they could be kind of more helpful buffs to friendly models. There's no defense roll made, you just resolve the effect of the action. If the target model within range is already under the effect caused by the support action, it will instead target the next eligible model to kind of down the line. If the support unique action is an augment, so it has that little blue flag with the arrow pointing up. Let's see if we can get a little shot of that there, much like that symbol. Then it's an augment, and the monster will target the closest eligible friendly model within range and line of sight to benefit. So this could be a buff of some kind to increase monsters' attacks. Now, overcharge. If a gang has a unique action that's an overcharged action, it is used instead of, not in addition to, the original version. Overcharged actions are frequently on minions, allowing the gang's unique actions to become more powerful when the minions are present. That's kind of neat. And then there are also signature actions. So let me pull out Starfire here and show you the signature action. Let's see if that'll come into focus for you. So signature action on Starfire is Inferno. Signature actions are actions the monster always is going to perform during the command phase. They don't cost any action points, and if the monster receives the move command, it will perform its signature action immediately after completing the move command. If it doesn't get the move command, the signature action will be the first command it performs in that command phase. So the actions that we just went over, or the commands I should say, are how the Mighty Monster chart dictates the behavior, the play of the monsters in Super Dungeon Arcade. And we can pull up, let's see, maybe this will be a little easier to see. So this is the Mighty Monster chart. Again, there'll be a link to download your own, maybe you can see it a little bit more clearly. But each turn, starting from the first all the way to the end, there's going to be different commands listed. So the monsters are going to behave according to what comes up. So thank you for watching kind of this breakdown part of the commands and some of the movement, some of the actions and whatnot that the monsters are able to take. We're going to look next at setting up the board, getting ready to take that first turn, and then we're going to get into some gameplay. We're going to go through and do kind of a turn one. We're going to get the heroes moving forward, taking out some monsters, hopefully generating some loot, but we'll see what happens. The dice, as always, are fickle. So thank you guys for watching. Please check out some of the other videos in the series we went through. We looked at both the hero cards, the monster cards previously. So if you're just watching this one, you may be a little confused, kind of back up a bit and check those out. Additionally, we have the other videos in the Super Dungeon Explorers Guild series where we've gone through and played some games. Be my guest. watch those. They're not going to be as instructive as the videos in this series, hopefully have been, but you can maybe get an idea of some gameplay, kind of see the interaction between some, we'll say, more veteran players, or at least folks that have played it enough that they should know better. Anyway, yeah, thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you for the next video.